Hey guys, just gonna wait for a few more people to jump on before we get started, because this is gonna be a really interesting live stream. I don't know why my hair is doing that. Yes, please share this everywhere, because I think it's gonna be very illuminating about Ocasio-Cortez. Hi. Yes, thank you for the hearts. Let's make this louder. Okay, that looks like enough. So over the last couple days, I've been really thinking about who the brains behind Ocasio-Cortez is, because it's not her. We all know that. And then recently there was an article published, I believe in Politico, about her chief of staff, Sekar Chakrabarti, and I might be saying that wrong, but he is a very interesting person because he's not well known in conservative politics at all. But in liberal politics, he's considered one of the foremost rising stars. But it's almost as if there's a complete block between him and conservative politics. There are no articles written about him. There's no talk about him whatsoever. So here's a little rundown of his background, and it's important because, no, we're not roasting, because it is a background that is very tech-based and very good for trying to get candidates elected. So he went to Harvard in 2003-2007 for computer science. And after that, he was a software development intern at Real News Network for about a year. And then he was an Apple software development intern. And then he was a Bridgewater technology associate. And then, this is where it gets interesting, he's the co-founder of Mockingbird, which is a web design service which now caters exclusively to Democrats looking for cool designs. This is her chief of staff, looking for cool designs for their campaign ads and things. He's the one behind her infamous announcement address that got millions of views. So after this, he becomes one of the founding engineers of Stripe. Stripe, which is something that has been knocking conservatives off recently. That's kind of interesting. So he's pretty much just like a run-of-the-mill computer guy, a little bit talented, until he hits 2016, when he's the director of organizing technology for Senator Bernie Sanders. Now, the question that is there is who brought him in. Nobody really knows that. But once he comes in, they start winning primaries. And Bernie's impressions on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook go way up. So whoever got this guy obviously did a good job because he's able to create a cohesive technological advance to get Bernie some primary wins. So after Bernie loses, there's some articles that says he feels very withdrawn and he doesn't really know what to do. So he founds Brand New Congress. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Brand New Congress. It's an effort to sort of have one national campaign message for what we would consider alt-left candidates. So this Brand New Congress organization isn't very successful whatsoever, but the one thing they're able to do is they're able to build a docket of young people who want to run for things in districts that it's possible for them to win. So it's really the precursor for Justice Democrats, which is really what's responsible for Ocasio-Cortez's win. So Justice Democrats comes about in a very interesting fashion because people think it came from the Young Turks guy, but that's not actually true. It came from the upper leadership of Bernie Sanders' campaign, of which this guy was one of these people. No. And it was formulated to take the people that had been recruited from Brand New Congress and give them an actual shot at running for office and winning. So Justice Democrats is, I'm just going to give you the synopsis of it, is a progressive political action committee founded on January 23rd, 2017 by the Young Turks guy and several of his associates, and what's not disclosed, the actual people who are involved in Bernie Sanders' technology, in the campaign, and his social media. So from that, they spent about 7 months going through all of these people who had been involved in Brand New Congress or had been on the list but weren't really sure what they wanted to do. And this is where Ocasio-Cortez comes in, because people know that she ran and she unseated this primary guy, and I will admit that's impressive, the fact that she was able to find such a vulnerable seat. What they don't know is the reason why she was recruited into this is very similar to how contestants on The Bachelor are recruited into things. On The Bachelor, people can be nominated by their family, oh thank you CJ, by their family, by their friends to, go date the bachelor, bachelorette. She was nominated by her brother to become a candidate for Justice Democrats. So this spiel she gives about how she saw a problem and tackled it is a lie. In college, she was a fan of William F. Buckley. I don't have a problem with that. I think William F. Buckley is quite a brilliant debater. But I would think the alt-left would have a problem with it, which is why her campaign manager buried those stories. And there's now proof he buried those stories. So after he gets involved in her campaign and starts pushing her, I'm not an investigative journalist, but I was very bothered by what I was seeing. After he gets involved with her campaign, he actually has to have conversations with her and convince her that she has to leave bartending to do this. So any time she says she is, going forward and doing this because she had to is a lie. She's doing this because her campaign manager wanted her to. Now, I'm not saying this woman is not good at social media and she's very personable, but she's not what people think she is. She's not a social media genius. And the argument from conservatives is always, certain conservatives, the reason why she's such a threat is because she is so great at social media. But is she? Because her chief of staff is actually who's been running her social media, is actually who formulated all of the policies that she's been promoting, like the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal is something that her chief of staff spoke about in the Bernie Sanders world in 2016. But nobody wanted to talk about that because it would dilute from her messaging that she's bringing about this new socialist revolution. She brought nothing. She was recruited like they recruit girls on The Bachelor. Nothing against The Bachelor. I watch The Bachelor. I like The Bachelor. Now here's where it gets even a little more interesting. There is someone called Corbin Trent, who was one of the co-founders, along with the Young Turks guys and people, of Justice Democrats. He was the communications director for Justice Democrats. And what happened was, once she won her primary and it was a lock that she was going to become a congresswoman, he quit Justice Democrats and became her spokesperson. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is backed up and has the brains behind her of Justice Democrats, the people of the Young Turks, and Corbin Trent, and I always have a problem saying this guy's name, Sakat Chakrabarti, which is her chief of staff. So if we're going to say that she's brilliant, conservatives, let's really take a step back and see if she is. Because she's not. She's just a mouthpiece. Thank you.